My goal is for you to find actionable steps that you can take to gain clients in your bookkeeping business. I want you to know the steps that you need to take in order to build a bookkeeping business. And so in this training, I'm going to go over a 5-step plan to building your bookkeeping business. Us as accountants, we like lists and tasks. And so what I want to do is break it down for you as simple as possible so that you know what we need to do to be able to build a bookkeeping business. We need clients in our business paying us money so that we have a business that operates and that we're making money. And so that's my ultimate goal, is to show you how to add clients to your portfolio. Gaining clients is one of those things that no matter where we are in our business, we're going to continuously have to know how to do it. I know there have been times in my own business where I have lost a client because they've closed the doors, things have changed. And so I've had to bring in new clients to be able to replace that income in my business. So we're going to look at 5 steps that we will be taking to be able to move you from 0 clients or few clients to fully booked, where you want to be in your bookkeeping business. And fully booked looks different for all of us. I know I have had different stages in my life where fully booked look different than what it does today. So let's look at 5 steps that we can take to build a bookkeeping business. The first step, number 1 step that we have to take is we need to decide on an income stream. We know we want to do bookkeeping, but we're all confused because there's so many options out there. There's lots of things, lots of streams of income in the accounting industry, and we're overwhelmed. We're confused. So I want to take that confusion away from you and give you 7 options that you have that you can walk through to serve your bookkeeping clients with. And when I do this, what I like you to do in your beginning, choose one of them and get really good at it, and then begin to add in a few more streams of income, because having options is very important for us as a bookkeeper. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see my list that I have. And we are going to walk through our 7 streams of income and options for bookkeepers. As I move through this list of 7, keep in mind that some of these bring in steady income for your bookkeeping business, and some of them bring in an influx of cash flow in your bookkeeping business. So keep in mind what your goal is right now. Are you needing steady income? Or are you needing an influx? Where are you at? And so as I move through the list of 7, you'll be able to go, okay, Vicki, that's the one that I need, because this is where I'm at in my life right now. I know when I first started, I needed an influx because I was sending my children to a private school. And so I had tuition that I had to cover. And so I really wanted to get that tuition built up and together as a lump sum to be able to pay the school in May or June to be able to pay for the tuition. And so an influx of cash was really good for me. And so taxes really appealed to me. So let's move through them and I'll show you, and you just think about it in your life of how you can relate to this and which one you need to master first. Month-end reconciling. This is what I like to call is good old bookkeeping. This is taking a bank statement. We've all seen a bank statement, and you have a beginning balance and you have an ending balance. And there's lots of transactions that happen in between those 2 numbers. As a bookkeeper, we take those transactions and we clearly code them inside of a software so that it'll create a financial report that taxes can be filed from. So a lot of times this is like after the fact accounting. It's how you're doing this after the transactions have already happened. And I know I have some clients that I do this weekly for. I have some that I do it monthly for, but I'm still doing month-end reconciling for the huge portion of my clients. So month-end reconciling is beautiful because it's a consistent flow of income. And I teach you that you need to have pricing packages for your services. And this is a great way to do that, month-end reconciling. So what do you have to do that? You need software. And I give you the link in the show notes with how to get your QuickBooks accountant profile. And that accountant is the keyword. Google QuickBooks Online Accountant, and you as an accountant get your profile for free, which means you have access to the software for free. So you can play around in it with the sample company, begin to learn the software for yourself. And then most of the time when you pick up a client, they either already have the software or you can add them in on your plan, and they're going to pay for the subscription for the software if you're getting it on your end at a discount for them as an accountant. But the main thing to know about the QuickBooks Pro Advisor account is that it gives you the availability to learn the software. It's an amazing free tool that a lot of bookkeepers don't know about when they're starting this journey. So I want to make sure you know that you can get the QuickBooks Pro Advisor accountant profile and begin to work in the software. Okay. So the second option I have listed here is payroll. Now, I know some bookkeepers that don't even touch payroll, and I know some that add in payroll. So however you feel about it is where you need to lean into. And if you're just starting, you may not want to add payroll right away. I know I didn't do payroll right away. Bookkeeping was enough for me to get my mind wrapped around it and to master it. So payroll is something that you can add on, and it's also a steady flow of income when you add payroll in, because someone's paying you for either weekly, semi-weekly, or monthly payroll. And so it's a nice stream of income that you can add in as you begin to learn bookkeeping. The third option is sales tax. This is also something I didn't start with, kind of fell into my lap. It was a request from a client, and I had never done it before and didn't really know what I was doing. So I had to walk through and learn it, and I was able to learn it. So sales tax is another option we have as bookkeepers. And then it's also a steady flow because sales tax has to be reported monthly. Then our fourth option is accounts payable and accounts receivable. This is when companies are billing out for services they've offered to clients and need to get paid, or they have bills themselves that they need to pay as a company. And so as a bookkeeper, you can do this for them. And this is also a great way to add another revenue stream into your bookkeeping business and for it to be a steady flow of income. Most of us already have the skills for this because we're doing it for our own household. And so we just kind of move it over into the arena of bookkeepers and can begin to pay bills and request money from their customers for them as a bookkeeper. And then our next one, this is where we're getting into influx of cash flow. The next option for bookkeepers are budgets. A lot of nonprofits operate off of a budget. A lot of companies operate off of a budget, and those who are not using a budget typically struggle with cash flow. So budgeting is something that I really, really like myself as an accountant. And when any company inquires about building out a budget, I get excited because I love building budgets. It's really neat because most of the work is up front with designing your budget for a company. And then after that, it's month to month, just comparing your numbers to your budget. Now, you may need to adjust your budget numbers periodically, but pretty much when you get the original budget set, the hard work's done for bookkeepers. And this can be an influx of cash that when someone wants this done for the upcoming year, then you can be paid for a fee for creating the budgets for them. And the next option are taxes. This is definitely an influx of cash flow. And I will say that if you decide to do taxes, it is almost like a whole nother stem of income itself. There's lots of trainings that you need to do to keep yourself up to date on the tax laws. There's lots that go into completing taxes for companies, but it's a beautiful stream of income. if you want to go for it. And so I recommend that if you want to go for it, go for it. Definitely go for it. And it can be a great influx of cash. We all know the big box companies that all they do are taxes. And I've personally been behind the scenes of some of those, and I've seen that they struggle with getting the bookkeeping in their doors. And so they mainly focus on doing tax returns. And again, this is another reason, because I was behind the doors with one of them, I decided I wanted to do bookkeeping because I saw the need there for business owners, and they weren't being served in that arena. So bookkeeping became a really, really important agenda for me to be able to see how I could serve business owners with bookkeeping. And then lastly, this is one of my favorites too, trainings. This also can be an influx of cash for your bookkeeping business. I actually have several clients who they go to local colleges and they teach the students. They get paid, the students pay for these trainings for her to come in and teach them QuickBooks software, to come in and show them what bookkeeping is about, because we all know in college, or you've heard that what they're teaching you is all the book stuff. It's not the hands-on things for bookkeepers. And so trainings, being able to go into local colleges and really help outline what you do as a bookkeeper is so valuable, because it's showing these students what business model they actually can build when they get out of college, and they don't have to go the corporate route. So trainings are really powerful. You can also, for your client, say your client has an office manager that sits there at the office for the heating and air company or whomever, and they are the ones handling receiving money in from the HVAC company's customers. Well, you as the bookkeeper could do a training for them in the QuickBooks software, showing them how to create the invoices and how to receive the money in. And the company would pay you a fee for that training video so that she could go back and watch it every chance she needed to, so she would know exactly what to do if she forgot how to do something. So trainings is a very valuable stream of income for us as bookkeepers that I think sometimes we aren't aware of. And once we become aware of it, then your mind is going to get creative, and you're going to begin to see all kinds of ways that you can create income in your bookkeeping business. So that's 7 streams of income that are options for you as a bookkeeper. And that's step 1. We have to decide, what are we going to do for these people? What do we want to focus in on? And once we begin to get clarity about which angle we want to go at, then we can begin bringing clients into our business. Step 2, told you I'm going to give you a 5-step plan. Step 2 is we need to name our business. If we have not named our bookkeeping business, I want you to do that today. Don't let much more time pass by. We need to know what our business name is. If you have ever had a child, ever had a pet, then you know that whenever you name that child or name that pet, it gives life to that person or animal. It gives a personality almost with the names. Like I can look at my children's names and see how their personalities kind of flow into what their name is. So when we build a bookkeeping business, we have to name it. We need to name it. So make sure you name your business. If you're struggling with what to name it, then I always suggest maybe using your last name. Say Watkins Financial Services or Watkins Bookkeeping Services. Make it simple. Don't overthink it, but get a name for your business. Naming our business just kind of builds confidence in us. It builds it's a level of confidence, because think about it. When you're having a conversation with someone who is interested in your services, say you took the 5 minutes to go in to talk to some parents when you went to pick up your child from practice, and they're realizing that you're a bookkeeper. Maybe they didn't know that. They're realizing Vicki's a bookkeeper, and you're in this conversation. When you can say, my business is Watkins Financial Services. You can find me on Facebook. There's my Facebook business page. My email's on there. Send me an email if you're interested. You say your husband needs a bookkeeper. So get on there and send me your information and I'll be in contact. It's another level of professionalism. It doesn't take a lot of work on our part, but we get stuck here. And I don't want us to stay stuck. Just make a decision and name your business. Naming and pricing kind of go hand in hand. These are the things that really can block us when we begin to build our bookkeeping business. I have seen behind the scenes of hundreds of students who are on the journey of building a bookkeeping business, and naming and pricing is where we get stuck. So name your business, pricing, come up with a pricing formula. I like to encourage you to do what I call a swipe file of pricing. And what you can do with that is you can actually do a review of websites online of pricing structures. And when you begin to look at what other bookkeepers are charging for their services, you'll see patterns. You will see individual specific things that they're looking for. Number one, when you do a pricing structure, you need to identify how many transactions that you'll code. Remember, I talked about the bank statement, all those transactions, how many transactions you'll code, how many bank accounts you'll reconcile, and up to a certain number for both of those. And then if they have employees, that's going to fall into your pricing structure. I will do a whole nother training on pricing structure, but we need to come up with pricing. And I will gift you in the show notes. There is an engagement letter that you need to grab, because the engagement letter is our roadmap for us with our clients. So if you're still trying to figure out your pricing, just remember you're not stuck. And the reason I say you're not stuck is this engagement letter. You need it. Inside the engagement letter, there's some language there that says the pricing that we're going to do these services for is only good for 60 days or 90 days. And then we need to reevaluate it. I like to encourage my students to go ahead and decide on a price, service that client for 2 months, because when you look at 2 months set of bank statements, you're going to get a real good feel for, am I charging enough? So make sure that you grab my engagement letter and you decide on a price. Go ahead and price it. Remember, it's not permanent, and move forward. So don't get stuck here. Okay. Step 3 is we need to create a social asset basket. Inside of this basket are several things. Again, we can get hung up on this step. So I don't want us to do that. I want us to take action and move forward. And the number one social media item that I think you need to create is a Facebook business page. It's free. You can create a banner very quickly with free software like Canva, canva.com. You can go in and create a banner for your Facebook page. Create your Facebook page so that, like the example I talked about earlier, you have somewhere to point people. You can create an email address really quickly for free, pop that into your Facebook business page. But we have to have a social presence. If we're not findable, then nobody's going to be able to find us. Word of mouth is a great way to find clients, but it's only going to get you to a certain level. So you have to begin to build an online presence so people can find you. Now, I'm not saying you got to go post every single day on your Facebook business page. That's not what I recommend. I recommend you having that business Facebook page so there is a presence out there so people can find you. We have to be findable as bookkeepers to be able to get clients. People want to know you exist. Okay, you say you're a bookkeeper. Where's your business stuff at? The other thing that we can do too, the QuickBooks Pro Advisor accountant, once you move through that, you'll be able to become certified as a pro advisor. And once you become certified, then you can have a whole profile as a QuickBooks Pro Advisor. And that profile is valuable too, because on there you can put your social links on it. People can find you. It's another piece of the social asset basket that you can have a goal to do. It's not a quick goal like the Facebook business page, but it's one that you could put on your list to have accomplished in the next 3 or 4 months. Okay. And then another social media platform you could use is Instagram, but I recommend you choose one to start with. Don't get overwhelmed by doing several options. Choose one social media platform that you're going to make as a business profile and make yourself findable. Get yourself out there. Step 4 of my 5-step plan for building a bookkeeping business is tell everyone you're in business. And if this helps whenever you have a social media presence, tell everyone you're in business. Don't shy away from letting people know that you're a bookkeeper. And I say that because I lived there for a while. I was hesitant to let people know that I did bookkeeping. And I realized rather quickly that I had potential bookkeeping clients right under me, that if I would just speak up and let them know what I do and let them know that I have space available to be their bookkeeper, then I would have plenty of clients. And that's exactly what happened. And my husband actually kind of jarred me into that with one of my clients I have. It's our mechanic, and he spoke up on my behalf. My husband did, and was like, "Hey, Vicky's the bookkeeper." My mechanic did not know that because I had not clearly explained to him what I did for a living. He had known me for several years. And that was a wake-up call for me whenever my husband had a conversation with him and said, "Hey, Vicky does bookkeeping. Why don't you contact her if you're looking for a bookkeeper?" And he's still a client of mine today. And so our clients are right under us, but we have to speak up. We need to do the ask. We need to let people know that we're in business. And another piece of this, step 4 of our 5-step plan, is if we have clients that we're currently serving, then we need to serve them well, make sure we're serving them well, make sure we're communicating with them, make sure we're putting ourselves at the forefront of their minds. They know we exist, we're here, we're not just back here doing numbers. And that means you can send emails to them monthly, letting them know where they stand, that you've got their accounts reconciled, but communicate with your current clients. And then do the ask of them. Ask them, say, do you have any friends who need bookkeepers? Do you have any other business owners that you know need bookkeepers? I'm available. I have some spots that are open. I would like to add a few accounts to my portfolio. And you would be surprised at how many of your current clients are willing to give your name out. They've experienced the bookkeeping aspect with you of how you service them. And if you're serving them well, they're not going to hesitate to tell other people about you. But what I find is a lot of times we're not asking. So do the ask. Make sure we ask people for the recommendation. And also make sure we are telling everyone that we're in business. That's step 4. Step 5 is rinse and repeat. We are always going to have to go back through these 5 steps. Step 1 is deciding on a stream of income. Step 2 is naming and pricing your services. Step 3 is creating a social media asset basket. Step 4 is telling everyone we're in business. And at some point in our bookkeeping life journey, we're going to have to go back to one of these. Now, when we rinse and repeat, I want you to keep in mind that as you gain clients and you serve clients well, you will begin to be able to gain testimonials from these clients. This is part of step 5. We're always wanting to gain testimonials because we can place those in strategic places. They can go on that engagement letter that I told you about. It can go on the end of it, because that is a place that we know potential clients are going to be reading through when you send over the engagement letter. At the end of it, if you say, "Hey, so-and-so from HVAC companies has used me, and this is what they say about me. They turned my shoebox of receipts into financial reports," or, something about what you did for them as a client. If you have that listed as a testimonial on the engagement letter, that's just another way that you're building authority. They're getting to know you, of who you are, how you serve people. And it helps tremendously. So that 5th step, just gaining testimonials, strategically placing them on our Facebook business pages, creating an image with the words of what our clients say about us, placing it on our QuickBooks Pro Advisor profiles, on a website, if you create a website, these are the strategic places where we will place our testimonials. So this is the 5-step plan for a bookkeeper who is building a bookkeeping business. When you move through these steps and take action, if you notice, most of these steps are actionable. We need to take action. And once you begin to take action, then you're going to be able to build your bookkeeping business to where you want it to be. Make sure that if you have not received my freebie, Essential Toolkit, I'll put the link for that too. Make sure you get on that list and you receive the Essential Toolkit for virtual bookkeepers. Is 7 tools that we must have as bookkeepers too.